months. It's coming up 2 years.
Yeah.
2 full years of this. Crazy. We still like each other.
And Robin, especially
exactly.
Robin.
We love Robin. Good segue. Yeah, baby. Mic drop.
Did you get that, Robin? I hope that's helpful to you.
Perfect. Smooth. We've given Robin no work today. We're making it too easy.
I know. She's not even here, and we're just blessing her in her absence.
Welcome, Casselberry. It is now time to have a casual conversation for the beneficial good of our community. The show you are about to listen to is called What's Up, Casselberry? And now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you your hosts, Andy and Drew, along with producer Robin.
What's up, podcast listener? It's Drew, it's Andy, it's episode 93 of the What's Up, Casselberry podcast. We are back for our weekly episode of dad jokes and news and interviews and fun. We are so glad you've joined us today on this endeavor to talk about all things Casselberry. And man, what a week it was previous to this recording, Andy. Halloween has come and gone. There was lots of kids and families, lots of fun to be had. You and I and producer Robin, who is not on the program today, we're out for a short time at Casselberry Elementary Trunk or Treat before we got blown away literally by a windstorm. How you doing, man? What's going on with you?
I'm doing great. There's been a lot that's been going on in our community since we last chatted, and it's only been a week away. But yeah, I kind of felt fortunate at the Casselberry Elementary Trunk or Treat. There was a great crowd, great kids, some great costumes. But a lady from my church took care of my costume for me, which I'm grateful for because I'm really hopeless at that stuff. And she made me a fisherman with a fisherman's hat, jacket, and pants, which was waterproof. So when the rains came in, everyone scattered, but I'm just standing there trying to give out candy to nobody because they're all in hiding. But that was a lot of fun. And kudos to Casselberry Elementary PTSA for putting on a great job there. Then, Drew, I know that you were out of town and couldn't make it, but we also had our food and wine event.
Yes.
Chamber of Commerce last Monday night. And honestly, that was just lovely. Lake Concord Park is beautiful. The lights were shining. The food was excellent. The wine was great. The weather was perfect. And it was funny, just like everywhere we went, we ran into someone we knew from different spheres of life. And it really felt this is a really cool event where people come together. And I was just thrilled to be part of that. I was missing you. You would have loved it too. But I just want to give a little shout out to the Chamber of Commerce for all their work in really putting Casselberry on the map by hosting that event.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kelly Hinkle, Kinsley Lawathan, many others who are involved in that event. I heard that not only was much money raised through the silent auction and through ticket sales, and that money's going back into the local community scholarship specifically, but I also heard that there was several different folks from literally around the state that were driving in for this event. So as you said, it really brings our little community onto the map.
Well, Drew, I don't know if this is a thing or not, but this was probably the best attended food and wine event. But also, it's the only one that's been advertised on the What's Up Casselberry podcast so far. No, I mean, I don't know if there's a correlation between how many people were there and their desire to advertise on our podcast. I mean, the numbers kind of speak for themselves, but, that's maybe not for us to say.
Yeah, I don't know how we make something, viral, but if it's possible, we were humming that day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the lesson is if you want people to come to your event, you need to promote it on the What's Up Casselberry podcast. It's just right. That simple.
That's it. We're not proud at all.
We're not grabbing any credit that doesn't belong to us at all.
Well, it certainly is that time of year. There's just lots of stuff going on. Listeners, I'm imagining there were several of you that were at that event that are going to be at the food and truck events on the second Friday of every month in the city at Lake Concord. I know there's some Christmas tree lighting coming up next month. Get involved, get connected, get out and about, and invite a friend and recognize that there's so many great things happening in Casselberry. Well, one of those great things that is happening, at least in my world, and I'm gonna make it all about me for a second, is I love being a dad. I am on vacation as of this recording recording. It's enjoying time with family, and running around with a little boy makes me so in the cheesy dad mode mood. So here we go. The dad joke of the week, Andy. You ready?
You know me, and Robin's not here to laugh for you, so you may struggle without a laugh.
I know. We're gonna do the best we can.
But don't worry, I've got some too to clean up if yours fall flat. So
okay,
all right,
sounds good. That sounds good. Well, as I said, I'm on the road traveling a bit, so these are travel themed. I've got two for you. All right, first travel themed dad joke. Andy, what's the fastest growing city in the world?
The fastest growing city in the world. I've got no idea. My guess is it's probably not in America.
It's not. It's actually in Ireland. It's Dublin every day.
All right. Very good. All right. It's Dublin.
All right.
Dublin in size. Nice.
All right. The other dad joke I pulled up. There's a city, Andy, where all the people have the same blood type. Every person in the city has the same blood type.
No way.
I'll give you a hint. It's in the Far East. It's the capital of Taiwan. They're all type A. They're all type A.
Gee.
There you have it.
Gee, that makes me groan.
Yeah, that's
groan.
Robin's going to groan me. She's going to boo me right now.
Well, talking of groaning, right? These are my contributions to this section.
Okay, here we go.
We may need to get rid of. Some people think my puns are juvenile, but I prefer to think of them as full grown. No, but seriously. Anyway, we live close to the Space Coast. I found out the other day doing some research, Drew. Maybe this is our news of the week. Do you know how NASA organizes a party?
No, how?
They plan it.
Boom. There you
Boom.
go.
Did that joke take off?
I love when you do that. That is my favorite part of this segment. It's when you can roll one more in behind. There you have it, listeners. The dad joke of the week. That's for Karen Allman, for Doug Prizak, for Tracy Searles, anybody else who gets a kick out of the dad jokes.
Yeah. No, I think that's about it. Just those three.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It is now time for your local update about things happening in your community. It is now time for Casselberry in the News.
As of this recording, we will be the week of our Casselberry in the News segment, and we want to report that there's some really cool things happening in our city involving people coming together from the faith community to serve the citizens of our city. Several times over the past couple of years, we have gathered together as the local church of Casselberry and the surrounding area across denominational lines to unify and serve the city in an event called Neighbor to Neighbor. And this event is coming up this Saturday, November the 13th from 8 a.m. until noon in accordance with the city of Casselberry's code enforcement department. Andy, flesh out what exactly occurs. Basically, we are coming and blessing some citizens and some properties in Casselberry.
Yeah, Neighbor to Neighbor, as you said, was started a couple of years ago, and it's really grown because of a partnership that we've been able to form with the code enforcement. Now, often we only interact with the code enforcement at times when we don't want to, because maybe we've got a violation or something like that. And while often we don't enjoy that interaction, having got to know some of the code enforcement staff, they really don't like finding people or writing homes up and that kind of stuff. It's not the most pleasant part of their job, but it's a task that we can be grateful for them doing because it kind of keeps the bar high on our neighborhood. But sometimes there are folks that they need to give tickets and write up to who are unable, because of some significant reasons, to fix the violation. Perhaps they're elderly and can't do the manual labor. Perhaps they're in a place of poverty and can't afford to get it done. And in those unfortunate situations where the people can't fix the problem and are just sat there increasing fines, that's where we come in. And the city will give us the names of some of those homes, which of course are public record. We'll go and do a little site visit, and then we'll send send a team to fix the violation. This prevents the fine getting better. It's fun for our folk. It cleans up the city. It helps code enforcement staff feel a little bit better. And sometimes we've even been able to have the fines waived on these situations as well. So it's kind of like a quadruple win. It's a win for those who want to serve. It's a win for the homeowners. It's a win for the code enforcement staff, and it's a win for our community as well. So this Saturday, we're hoping to have about 100 volunteers come and work on these projects and serve our community, work with our neighbors, and make a difference in our community. I love that we do it. It's one of my favorite events of the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing some good work come out of that.
Absolutely. As a quick aside, I'm thankful for Shane Cahoot and at Metro Life Church, along with Ted Wood at Community Methodist and several others for really pitching in, you as well, Andy, and leading this charge. And the really cool thing, and one big shout out, is for the team at Casselberry, the code enforcement team, who is open to the idea of citizens coming in and serving alongside other citizens. Just a quick aside, I can highlight really for me, the last time I served, I had the privilege of serving in a home. We were doing yard work and stuff outside. And, about an hour into that time, along the street, neighbors started coming out of the driveways. They started then cranking up their lawnmowers, mowing their grass, trimming their hedges. And really, you just saw the like you said, it's a win for the community. The entire street was blessed by the efforts of coming together and serving in a home.
Well, one of the things we say, Drew, and that's a great example of it, that a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So as we were fixing up one home there, it challenged the neighbors to work on their stuff as well. But that's a very exciting event that's happening in the near future and will make a difference in the present. But before we move on with the show, let's listen to an update from historical Casselberry.
And now from the Society of Historic Casselberry, this is History of Casselberry with Dr. Deborah Bauer.
This is Dr. Deborah Bauer with your Casselberry History in 90 seconds. In October 1971, the Seminole County Board of Commissioners voted to give approval for a new housing development in southwestern Seminole County to the east of the city of Casselberry. The land was originally pasture and farmland occupied by entities such as Watts Farms, which had been a poultry farm. The county commission gave the developer, a man named Richard Bond, permission to build the housing tract at the intersection of Redbug Lake Road and the newly constructed Eagle Circle. Bond hired Baco Construction to build houses along the far side of Eagle Circle near what is today Swallow Drive, Dewdrop Cove, and Laurel Way. At that time, there was no Eagle Circle South. The original housing tract was known as Sterling Park. Today, more than 528 homes are a part of the Sterling Park neighborhood. It was this neighborhood that gave its name to Sterling Park Elementary when it opened in 1974. In the late 1970s, the city of Casselberry annexed much of the land that would become other neighborhoods in Deer Run, except for Sterling Park. Their HOA board strongly fought annexation, involving Seminole County in a legal fight against the city of Casselberry that went all the way to the Florida Supreme Court in Tallahassee. Casselberry lost their legal challenge and de-annexed the rest of Deer Run by 1982. By the late 1990s, more than 27 neighborhoods encompassed the entire subdivision. The final neighborhood built, the villas at Deer Run townhomes, were constructed in 2004 on the former Deer Run Golf Course's tennis courts. Today, Deer Run is now home to almost 3,000 residential units with a population between 6,000 and 8,000 people. Again, this has been Dr. Deborah Bauer with your Casselberry History in 90 seconds.
Christian Help is entering our 30th year of empowering family independence in Casselberry. We are getting Central Florida's unemployed back to work. We are feeding thousands of struggling families in the community. We are giving your neighbors hope, but we need your help. Join us on the front lines of Central Florida's economic recovery. To learn more, go to christianhelp.org. That's christianhelp.org. Christian Help is a proud sponsor of the What's Up Casselberry podcast.
Listeners, welcome back to our favorite part of the show. When Drew and I started this podcast a few months ago, feels like many months ago now, one of the things that we really wanted to do was to highlight some of the great things happening in our community and shine a spotlight on some of the unsung heroes who are making a difference through what they do. Today, in our conversation, we have one of those unsung heroes. She is Rebekah Stafford. She was brought to our attention from the Seminole County Fire Department because of some good works and thoughtful acts of care that she was doing with them. So we welcome Rebekah to our show today.
Hi, friends. It's nice to be here. Thank you again for the platform.
I mean, you say that now, but I mean, who knows? This platform could like launch you to a whole new level of stardom. So get ready.
You never know.
So, Rebekah, by way of getting to know you, can we ask you a few icebreaker questions, okay? Just for fun, kind of rapid fire. I'll start off. So, number of years that you have lived in Seminole County?
So I have hit lucky number 7 at this point. I started off in Oviedo and migrated on over to Casselberry Fern Park. It's been a little while now.
Where were you before Seminole County?
I grew up in Volusia County. I actually used to work for Volusia County government for the Office of Sustainability. And so I grew up in Deltona, worked in DeLand a bit. And I moved out to California for about 2.5 months with my cat Precious, the star of this show. That didn't pan out. It's just real expensive and you have to be there for at least a year to establish residency for school. So I decided to move in with family for 2 years and then I got my own place.
We're glad you're in Seminole.
Yeah.
We are indeed. And you mentioned off air, Rebekah, that you attended the Geneva School. We recently highlighted their work in our community. Rebekah, nice to meet you. As somebody who, you have an animal, I'm assuming you at least tolerate the outdoors. Do you have a favorite local park in Casselberry?
So that's really a tough one because, we have Kiwanee Park here. So, I've taken that a few times to go to the roller rink. But honestly, I am a bit biased because I love Lake Eola and I love Crane's Roost. Anything by water, just very calming, very soothing. So that would be, I guess, what I'd pick.
I like Kiwanee. They got a nice little park there and some nice little walkways too. That's really lovely back there. Favorite Seminole County restaurant? What you got for that?
So prepare. I have ADHD, so there's quite a few. I've had a real craving as of late for Victoria's Oyster Bar and Grill. I like Hillstone a lot. Again, water views, and they have a fantastic ice cream sundae. But if you're an extrovert, such as myself, you need a good laugh, or you're German, definitely check out Hollerback's Willow Tree Cafe. As for like a date night, again, back near Lake Eola, Jinya Ramen. That's pretty nice as well.
I love that. The whole smattering of different options. You're making us
Foodies
hungry.
unite.
You're a foodie, I can tell. That's great. Well, then leads, I think, perfect to the final question. You and I have similar stories, and then we moved to, you said Oviedo and then Casselberry in terms of Seminole County. When you think about Seminole County as a whole, what do you really enjoy about being a resident here and specifically talking about Casselberry?
I guess I'll touch on both points. So overall, I really like that there's so much going on. Obviously you have, the theme parks. There's a lot of theme park fanatics. You have a lot of the regular nature trails and parks. If you ever visit Orlando Date Night, they have an array of activities, but I also like to use Facebook and other social media. So there's always something going on, something you can get involved in. As far as Casselberry, I think the selling point is I've always felt safe where I live. And in terms of Casselberry as well, rent is manageable, whereas some other areas I've looked into, it's not quite as nice as I'd say it is here. So that's a definite selling point. And, it's always nice just to have like that sort of small community. So I guess there's a lot of things I could touch on, honestly.
Yeah. That's a really, really well thought out answer. And we've heard that from lots of our guests, that it's that small town feel, but it has the big city amenities. And I love what you said, going on social media and different groups and all. When you're there, give a plug to the What's Up Casselberry podcast. We'll go to an event, right, Andy? We're social guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're social introverts, but we're social guys. Right. So let's kind of catch up with, what you're doing now vocationally. You shared that you're taking a coding class through a school in Nashville. Tell us about that, your hopes it will lead, just a little bit about professional life before we get into some of your pet projects.
Yeah, definitely. So I can be a little bit of a workaholic. I'm not going to lie. I think it's, again, that ADHD. You just have a variety of interests. My background's very eclectic. Currently doing full-time online school at UCF. Couldn't really make up my mind with that. So initially it was going to be interdisciplinary studies with a health administration minor and then medical sociology. I changed over to integrative general studies. Kept the health administration minor, decided to do cognitive science. And then I was like, but my heart's really in the helping field. So I'm leaning heavily on psychology. With that said, to touch on what I'm doing with Nashville Software School, I just started an intro to coding course. So I am very much new to this, very much enjoying it. It's a lot to retain and memorize. So if you have any tips, please share them. My goal with that, in addition to some other computer courses I'll be taking after I finish this, I'll do Orange Technical College, a Microsoft bundle, just basic information, get certified through the CARES Act. And then I've signed up for the CompTIA. I'm either going to be continuing on with the boot camp or doing an Associate of Science degree. One's accredited, one's not. It's just a matter of, money for that. But if I can become a software engineer, that'd be fantastic because I can be creative. I can make apps. I can make platforms to help others. I could be more of an entrepreneur. But if I do that, I can funnel money into further education and I can create a more stable, comfortable life for Precious and I. We can get our tiny home, which I'm a tiny home fanatic. I can go on and on about it. And, I can get a dog sibling for her. So that would be fantastic.
Awesome. What a cool goal and focus. And obviously you are very educated and continuing to educate yourself. Rebekah, you may not have listened to our podcast before, but Andy and I are dads. And one of our segments on this program is the dad joke of the week. And a while back, and something you said made me think of this. We're talking about Microsoft Office. And so when you were talking, I was thinking, you put in a good word, and I hope in your career you excel along the way.
Yeah, I like that one.
Dear.
That's good.
No, don't encourage him, Rebekah.
Thank you, Rebekah. I need somebody. Well, Rebekah, you had the unique narrative of, you mentioned your cat Precious a couple of times, and obviously have a heart, as you said, for helping people. But in one of the ways in which you help people, and we collectively as the community help people, is to care for our pets, right? Our furry family members. And you recently were highlighted with the Seminole County Fire Department for donating some life-saving pet oxygen masks to help reduce the number of pet fatalities. Would you kind of give a little backstory on how you heard about these oxygen masks and some of the statistics and what they do in helping save the lives of pets in case of a fire?
Yeah, no, definitely. So honestly, I was on social media. I work from home. I do tech support, troubleshooting, and claims. And so I came upon the Orlando Cat Cafe, who had made a contribution of oxygen masks for animals. And I was like, man, why didn't I think of that sooner? And it just clicked. I just felt very, very heavy on my heart to donate, very compelled to do so, especially after seeing the condo that had collapsed. And there's similarities. I think I can see a piece of myself and others as well as in animals. And I want to be that voice for the voiceless, an advocate, because an animal can't say, I'm afraid, I need help, I matter. And they love us unconditionally. They really do matter. And so the great thing about these oxygen masks is it's not just for a cat or a dog. It extends to ferrets, rabbits, guinea pigs, birds. The masks, you get 3 per pack. They are something that you can wash and reuse. Right now, from what I've read, there's 60 million households that have pets. Fires kill more Americans than all other natural disasters combined. And the U.S. has one of the highest fire death rates in the industrialized nation. Now, the thing of it is these animals that are caught in a fire, they're going to experience a few different potential disorders. So the biggest thing is getting that mask on them as quickly as possible and then getting them to the vet because they have to go potentially into like a hyperbaric chamber. But, they're being exposed to carbon monoxide poisoning, hydrogen cyanide poisoning. They could get pneumonia. They could have neurologic damage. There's a lot that goes into that. And if you do want more information, by all means, please do visit the usfa.fema.gov. Also, you can go ahead, like I'm planning to do, so come along with me. And you can get CPR certified as well as the ACLS certification. You download an app called Pulse Point. If someone at the mall, let's say, is having difficulties, you can respond, you can potentially save a life. Also, there's something called Fire Citizens Academy here in Seminole County. You can find ways to prevent a fire so that these masks are never needed. And you can just get better educated on how much our firefighters do. I did a research study at UCF where I was to save 2 people in a virtual reality platform, and it's tough. And you think of the adrenaline going. So I just really want people to be aware that this is larger than us. This has a really, big impact that extends to many people, because these animals are family. They're our furry children. They're our best friends.
Yeah, I mean, pets are one of those areas of life that just communicate love and care, and that's very important. It's funny, when I got the email from the fire department about what you've recently done in purchasing these masks, my wife and I had just been watching the Chicago Fire TV show, and that's kind of one of our shows, and they just had a storyline where a pet had died, and my wife and I were both very sad about this, and I had no idea that there was this kind of solution available that's really so simple, saves a lot of animal lives, and in doing so offers a lot of peace and comfort others caught in fires. So your involvement in this, I mean, those statistics kind of grab your heart and mess with your head a little bit because they're so dramatic. Have you experienced a situation where you've had to use one of these masks or anything?
I'm so fortunate I haven't. However, not so long ago, I'm on the 2nd story in my apartment building. There was a fire, and I remember evacuating with Precious, my cat, to my car. And in that moment, you are in flight or fight. What do I grab? What's important? And you realize in that instance that, things and stuff, they mean nothing. It's the relationships we have. It's our animals. And I saw a cat in the top story, and you kind of go into this shock mode of what's going to happen next. And God forbid, I've always been very much an animal lover. I volunteered at the Marine Science Center when I was much younger. I volunteered with service animals through New Horizons. So I think this just kind of naturally came to be because it's something I'm passionate about. But no, I haven't had to use it, but should that happen, now I know that the fire station nearest me can respond accordingly. And that, should there be the instance that something horrific like that happens, that Precious and other, lovely animals and family members to us could be saved.
Yeah, absolutely. That I love what you said earlier about being a voice for the vulnerable, voice for the voiceless, including pets, but that can also include, the elderly, those with disabilities and various things like that. Have you thought more specifically, Rebekah, just in your desire to be somebody who helps people and helps animals, expanding kind of on that role of whether it's donations or bringing to the attention disaster relief? What are some of your thoughts on how to expand your reach in terms of helping?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great question. And I feel like I'm going to say a lot on this one because it is something that is at my core. I think I've done a lot of soul searching as of recent. I'm not particularly fulfilled within my current career path. And I'm trying to connect to what, you get up and you're like, man, I have this sense of purpose. I'm excited. And really what I've thought about is potentially being an entrepreneur or starting a nonprofit. I really want to help the elderly. My grandmother helped raise me, and she was very impactful in my life. And there was a period of time my junior year where she was dealing with lung cancer, and I got to stay with her in DeLand at a sort of an assisted living facility. And I think that really imprinted upon me. And, it's really just a matter of speaking up for anyone that is vulnerable. I want to be, that vessel that meets the needs I see need to be taken care of. And there's so many. I've considered motivational speaking, helping others tackle their obstacles, finding confidence and inner strength. I'm very, very passionate about mental health, holistic health. I just research and study it. So whatever I do, that is going to be a component of it. And, I have this sense of a deep-seated need to kind of be an advocate for those that have been impoverished, abused, mistreated, and misunderstood. I selfishly need to be needed, and I want to help, and I want to connect to the purpose that I was given, whatever that might be. And, I guess part of my personal mission statement is I don't want something just to end with me. I want it to start with me and that to continue on. So that sense of teamwork.
I love that. What a great answer. And as I was listening to that answer, I just want to encourage you. You already do a lot of that stuff. Your passion comes through. You're communicating very, very clearly. For you in this last season, that passion and that care for the vulnerable manifested in you buying these oxygen masks for pets. What advice would you give to someone else who had a similar desire to make a difference?
With this in particular, you can go onto Google. You can look up Project Breathe through Invisible Fence. One pack of 3 masks will cost you about $70. And you can even do a GoFundMe, get others involved. I would say that honestly, when you go to think about your experiences, we've all gone through tumultuous things. We've all had struggles. And it's what you make of that. I'm a big proponent of you don't have to repeat history, whatever you've been through. Just utilize those experiences and allow them to fuel you, allow them to drive, follow whatever is placed upon your heart, be for others what you need or have needed. If you can empathize and have compassion, you literally can walk in another's shoes. At least in my case, it provides the ability to just see how blessed we are. But, I think one thing that I would say to each of you individually, I want you to know how important and uniquely wonderful you are. There's something only you can do with your talents, interests, and personality. And I really hope you share that. I implore you to think about how you can be of service. And you don't need a lot of money. You don't need a ton of time to make a difference. All you really need is that desire. I just simply reflect on the resources and people that have helped me along the way, and it makes me want to give back because there's been times where maybe I needed help with rent, or I needed help with putting food on the table, or, I didn't have family support and I needed friends to show up and be there for me, be that listening ear, whatever it might be. I've been very fortunate. And it's those instances, that's what we remember about like how someone treated us, and kindness is free. So, any way you can share it, just be willing to share it.
Rebekah, your statements throughout our time have been super encouraging and really are the essence of what Andy and I desire this podcast to be, which is to inspire and encourage people to step out and be a light in the community. We have following our conversation, we always end with an inspirational moment. Andy, I feel like producer Robin should just clip together about 3 of Rebekah's quotes, and
it's been an inspirational conversation. Yeah,
it sure has. Well, Rebekah, thank you. We are just about out of time. As you said, the pet oxygen masks are available online. Could you give one more time where exactly listeners could find those masks?
Yes. So if you Google Project Breathe or you go to Invisible Fence, you will be able to contribute. It's $70. You can order through them and then go donate to your local fire stations. Again, Project Breathe, Google Invisible Fence. It should populate and come right on up.
Excellent. Thank you. And then for you personally, if there are those who would like to connect with you in our community, listeners want to follow up with more, how can they connect with you, Rebekah?
I think my email is probably the quickest way to get my attention. I've got my phone on me regularly. If you just email me at wise, like wisdom, panda, like the animals, so wisepanda88@gmail.com. I'd love, just to see the awesome things you're doing, make a few new friends, get involved in your work. And my thought process is, imagine if we team up, we can do something really incredible. So, I invite you to reach out and we'll work together.
Excellent. And Rebekah, you may not know this, but the Casselberry Elementary School mascot is a panda. So you're a wise panda indeed. Hey, listeners, thank you for tuning in with us today. Rebekah, thank you for your time with us. We really enjoyed our conversation and are excited to see and hear more about how pets and people are going to be blessed by your efforts and your donations. So thank you very much for your time today. Well, listener, that was a fascinating conversation with Rebekah Stafford. We really enjoyed you, Rebekah, and listener, hope you were encouraged by that. Andy, you have some big shoes to follow with our inspirational moment as Rebekah. If she doesn't have a career in coding, I think she might have a second career in motivational speaking, because I'm fired up after that conversation.
Yeah, I fired up, no pun intended, as she was serving the Seminole County Fire Department. You know, in some ways, Rebekah kind of is living out this quote by saying, I'm not going to be happy just sitting where I am. I want to make a difference with my life. And this quote is certainly among and along those lines. It's from Ralph Waldo Emerson, who challenges us all when he says, always do what you're afraid to do. Let me say it again. Always do what you are afraid to do. Such great advice. So often we run from difficult situations. We hide from challenges. We want to take the simple route, the route that has the less challenges and problems. But if we take that road, we don't grow, we don't expand, we don't get better, we don't push further. And ultimately, we prevent ourselves, we limit ourselves from making a difference. It's become somewhat of a discipline in my life, when something comes across my desk that I don't want to do, to look at it, to see it as a challenge and say, I'm going to take up that challenge and make a difference and learn and grow from it. So thank you, Ralph Waldo Emerson, for that quote. Once again, he says, always do what you're afraid to do. Always do what you're afraid to do.
Excellent, Andy. Thank you so much. And listener, we hope that you're not afraid to share this podcast. We hope you have enjoyed our time today. We thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast. We are all about having casual conversations each and every week for the good of our community. This podcast has been produced by our lovely producer, Robin Kepi.
Thank you.
Yes, Robin, we love you very much. Come back next time. For more information, please check out our website, Facebook page, Instagram, or podcast feed, all with the name What's Up Casselberry. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. If you haven't already, share this with a friend. We love to have more people blessed by these efforts. And until next time, have a great week.